and welcome to Year 3. I'm Mrs Stewart.
I'm Miss Shaw.
And I'm Mrs Pike.
So we thought we'd start the presentation by talking you through some of the things that you can bring into school every day. We would like to see the children's home reading journal, which is their yellow book. We need to see the home learning diary being brought into school regularly so that we can record in there as we need to. Home learning journals, which are pink. Reading books if they need changing, clear named water bottle with fresh water, and a sensible school bag that can fit the home learning books. As well as that, a labelled packed lunch, please. So in the home learning diary, you'll find a useful section at the front and the back. Please make sure that you read the first 10 pages and the final 8 pages over the next couple of weeks. Additional COVID section has been added in this year. If you go through that over the next half term, it will give you some guidelines. We also use the home learning diary as a school communication book. You can write in the book if you have any messages that you'd like to pass on to us, and we can record in the book as and when. Could you also please ensure that you just record some of your home reading that you're doing with your children? If they are able to, we are happy for them to record their home reading that they are doing. So if they're reading before they go to bed, they can read it alongside their home learning diary and just jot in any pages that they've been reading.
Okay, PE. So PE is a bit different this year. We do PE on a Wednesday on week 1 and Thursday on a week 2. I know it can get a bit confusing with which weeks are which, but you can pop them onto your calendar to make life easier. Children need to come into school in their full PE kit, so not wearing a school uniform. So full PE kit consists of either leggings, shorts or joggers that are black, the purple PE t-shirt and a black hoodie or zip-up jacket with no obvious logos, and some trainers, comfortable trainers. It needs to be weather appropriate, so jumpers and joggers in the winter, and a waterproof coat because they will go outside even if it's a little bit wet. If a child has got their ears pierced, please make sure that they're covered with micropore tape, which you will have to provide. We're not allowed to do that for them, or they take them out on PE days. Everything needs to be named. Actually, it's probably for all school uniform would be really useful, so that we can get it back to the correct child as quickly as possible, please.
So over the next year, we will be covering lots of really exciting topics. We're starting off at the moment with Stone Age to Iron Age. When we go closer to Christmas, we will be learning about farm to fork. As we go into the spring term, we're going to be starting off with learning about light and dark, a really science-based topic. And then we will be going into a more geography-based topic of the rainforest. When we get to the summer term, we will be learning about the history of Romans, and then we will be learning about China, which will be linked to our country and our festival that we have as a whole school. Trips. At the moment, during these times, we are unable to do any trips. We will have to see as the year progresses what the guidance is on trips and visits, and we will let you know in as much time as possible if trips are to go ahead. So what you can do to support your child at home in Year 3, it's just at this moment in time we have had a significant amount of time off. It's just really important that we're getting ourselves back into those regular routines, making sure that we are getting to sleep at a good time, and just making sure that we are being, really organised, and just really settling back into school in a really good way. When we're at home, we would like daily reading to go ahead. There was a sheet that was sent home that stated how much reading and maths work and spellings that we expect for each child to do in each year group, so please have a little look out for that. But yes, as I said, daily reading, spelling and vocabulary homework is sent every week and will be checked every Friday, and then the new homework will be set on a Friday as well. We have now given out their Times Tables Rockstars logins and their Sumdog logins, which will have lots of different fun activities for them to complete that we again update regularly with new content, so making sure that they're having a look at that too.
Okay, so reading at home. So there's a bit more information for you about our expectation for reading at home. The new this year is a home reading book review, and that will be bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks we will be celebrating the book reviews that the children complete at home in class. The first one will be this week, actually, on the 25th of September. The expectation then is that by half term they will have 3 book reviews in their home reading journal. They can share what they found, what their books they've enjoyed with their classmates, and hopefully they might find a book recommendation that they would want to then go away and read themselves. We are looking for the book reviews to be signed by an adult. So can you please make sure that you just sign to say that you've seen the child read that book. Moving on, so then they'll be coming in every 2 weeks. We might do a pit stop in between those 2 weeks just to see how the children are getting on while it's new. Daily reading is encouraged at home greatly, looking for opportunities to read with your child and some independent reading time as well to develop reading mileage so that the children are getting stamina for the books that they're reading. And also just celebrating books, reading for pleasure. It shouldn't be onerous, it should be an enjoyable time to share with your child. So we value that greatly.
Yeah, and I think if your child is a really fluent reader, avid reader, that's brilliant. There's so many opportunities though with still reading with them, reading aloud with them, talking to them about the story. What do they like? What don't they like? Having their opinions. What do they think is going to happen next? And having those conversations will not only improve their inference and their reading skills, but will also really help with their reading reviews and things. So it's a great activity to do together as a family, not just allow them to read alone. We really celebrate reading at St Peter's, and there's lots of things that are coming in either from last year that you'll be familiar with or new this year. And the Masteries are something that's new. We've come up with a list of 6 high-level texts that these children would really benefit from reading and exploring. Now this can be on their own or it can be with family and grown-ups at home. The expectation is that from now right through till the end of July, at some point they will read these 6 books. So it doesn't have to be all before Christmas or anything like that. It doesn't have to be in a specific order, but we have a record chart, and the children will be able to tick off when they have read those books. And some children are already taking them from the school library. We have some copies here, so if you can't access one or you haven't got one, then let us know, we can lend them out. Lots of opportunities there, but they are a must read for year 3. And that's new this year, so not something you'd have come across, but something that's really important. Something that might be a bit more familiar is the reading passport. So each term they will get a new reading passport. There's a different selection of genres there, so it could be something as simple as a recipe, could be a whole non-fiction text, could be an audio book. There'll be different things which allow children to explore the different world of reading. Children quite often get stuck at this age, particularly into liking a specific type of book or a type of author. And they don't widen their horizons, and it's got such a big impact on their reading, their vocabulary, their writing, that it's really important that they explore different types of book and text, and this is one way of doing it. And they've got the incentive of extra playtime, awards, and theatre trips, things like that at the end. It becomes a bit of a competition, so when they've done one, bring it to us, we can look, sign it off, and when it's complete they get entered into a draw.
So library slots have changed slightly. We will have the librarian, Mrs. Paul, to come and visit us. So on a Tuesday they will be visiting Lion class, and on a Thursday she will visit Hippo class. That'll be an opportunity for them to have a story read by her and change their books if needs be. We've had discussions with our classes already about the fact that if they have picked a larger text, more of a chapter book, then we wouldn't expect that to be coming in the next week. We would expect that to take a couple of weeks to read. So it doesn't have to be changed, the library book, if it still hasn't been read. We can explain that to Mrs. Porter and she can extend the time with the book.
is spelling practice at home. So each week, spelling rules are taught to the children. Those spelling rules will be sent home with the children on a Friday, with suggestions about activities that you can do to reinforce that spelling rule and to practice finding other words that might fit in with that spelling rule. We will also be sending out a spelling strategy sheet with many different activities that they can try to make it interesting and make it enjoyable as well. The more creative the children can be, the more rewarding that time will be for those children, and also to share in the class. They get so many ideas off of each other, and so please do encourage creativity within that. So then the other thing that will be sent out afterwards is as well at the same time will be the vocabulary work. This is an opportunity for us to give some new words for the children to have a go at using at home in their conversations with themselves, with grandparents, with people that they might meet, cousins, anyone really, trying to broaden the vocabulary that they're using, and then hopefully start to see that in their writing. So you could even use some of those words if you've got an activity where you're writing your spellings in sentences. Well, sure, you could try and use some of your vocabulary words in those sentences as well, just to again reinforce that learning.
And actually, we're very clever in the way when we give the vocabulary homework out, it very often links to the topic we're doing, either in our topic or in our English. So the idea is that the more they explore that at home, the more they'll bring it into their English work and learning in school as well. So important dates and messages. So keep an eye out for parent mail and all the important emails that come home from the office. Just on for this term, so next Friday, the 2nd of October, is an inset day. Tuesday the 13th, we're going to have a Year 3 liturgy. We're not quite sure how that might look at the moment. It's likely to be in school, but we're not quite sure at the moment with restrictions whether it'll be parents invited, but you'll get some information nearer the time. The 24th and 25th of November is Parents' Evening. That will still be going ahead. It might look slightly different to before in terms of layout and location and things like that, but again, you will get more information nearer the time. Just please remember to check your emails or your child's book bag for parent mail and letters to keep on top of updated changes and any key information that we need to send out. So at the moment, that's the safest and quickest way that we can contact you. So please notify the office if you would like to change the way that you receive information about upcoming school events. So if you currently get letters but you prefer to have parent mail, if you don't think you're getting a parent mail when you think you should be, go through the office. They know all of these things and they'll be able to help you. Collection. If you haven't already filled in a form about who is able to collect your child, please make sure you do. We will only allow children to go with the person nominated or a parent. So if there is somebody else picking up your child, you must let the class teacher know, and that needs to be done through the office. We have a board at the end of the day. They will write notes on it. We're always informed as to who children can go home with. If a child is with us at the end of the day and they aren't being collected by a normal person and we don't know, we will not be allowed to allow that child to go into their care, and we'll have to take them to the office, make phone calls. So much easier and quicker for everybody if you can just make a quick phone call to the office to let them know, please. I think that's it. Thank you very much. Normally we allow questions at this time, but if you do have any questions based on what we've talked about, please call the office, and firstly they should be able to answer it. If they can't and it's something specific for the class teacher, then we can call you back. If you'd like any meetings with the teacher prior to Parents' Evening about a very important issue, again, make a meeting for us to have a telephone conversation, and we can speak to you after school. Obviously with the new collection times and the way of collection, you can grab us in the playground if it's a quick one. That's not a problem at all. Equally, you can write notes in the home learning journal. We do check those. We'll just make sure that your child brings it to us when they come into school. But hopefully that's informative. Sorry we don't get to see you like we normally do, but hopefully we'll get to know your faces soon. Thanks very much.
Lovely, thank you.